My grandson Joe has joined me to help work on the house a little bit, the rental house we're working on over on the Oregon coast, and we're nearly done. But anyway, I'll appreciate his help. And since he's here, we decided to go see if we could catch a fish off the jetty at Tillamook Bar. We'll wind over the real crooked road over the top of Cape Lookout, and we're going to try getting our bait in Netart's Bay in the intertidal flats. It we're going to try. We've got a sand shrimp pump, so we're going to try and pump our own sand shrimp. That seems to be a nice way to go. We cross over the top of Cape Lookout, and real soon we can look out over the ocean and Netart's Bay. And it's looking pretty good out there today. So we're going to go down to the bay and see if we can catch some of those sand shrimp. You just pump them right out of the mud. Joe's giving it a try. First, we got to figure out where they are today. But it looks like he finally got his first one. You just start pumping and pretty soon they come out of their holes. So we were one on the way to getting our own bait. Now we gotta find another one. We pump and pump and pump with this. They're just a homemade pump. You can make them real easily yourself. And here they come, one right after another. So it won't take us too long to get enough of them for bait. We aren't out very far from shore. Out farther it would be clams and stuff you'd get there. But in here it's mostly just sand shrimp and other little things in the intertidal muds. Joe just keeps pumping, and every time he pumps, he brings out some sand and some water and sometimes a nice sand shrimp. We figured we only needed about 2 dozen of these sand shrimp since they're real nice and big, so that won't take us that long to get the bait that we need for our jetty fishing trip. After pumping a few of them, we finally figure out what kind of hole to look for in the sand, and we're getting them now. We must have about half enough right now. That sunshine feels real good on us as it reflects off the sands of the bay mud. But the wind is blowing quite a bit now, but that's okay. We know what wind is like, and so we have clothes where it's not going to bother us. We moved out a ways and then we stopped getting them for a while, and we finally figured out we've moved out too far. So we need to go back and see if we can pump some where we were. We just keep pumping and pulling more of the little rascals out of the sand until it looks like we've probably got enough of them. Oh boy, look at those guys. They got a nice little pincher, and they're super nice looking shrimp. They'll be good bait. So we drive on up to Tillamook Bay to the North Jetty at Barview, Oregon. And we park there and watch. This is the shipping channel that we'll be fishing in. We'll just walk out on the jetty a ways and fish right out in the shipping channel, and that's a double bonus there. Not only do you get to catch fish, but you can watch all the boats coming and going as they've been out to sea, some of them for days. and some of them are just heading out, and some are out for only one day at a time. But it's real interesting to see the boats. We're using a little bit of pencil lead and then some fairly small hooks for these sand shrimp, because the fish we're trying to target today aren't really huge. So we walk out the jetty a ways and get to a spot where it looks like we can pull them up out of the briny depths of Tillamook Bay. Joe throws his hook out and gets bites instantly. Then he's got it. He finally caught one, and here it comes in, and that's a pretty nice one. That'll make a good catch and cook. I always like to see the boats coming and going, and I've got my hook in the water now, and I started getting bites immediately. It took me a little while to figure out how to get onto it to land one, but when I did, I started catching them too. Marge didn't come with us today. She stayed at the house, and she said she was going to do some work, although I'm not sure she did. But anyway, she didn't come out here with us to fish, but we told her we'd bring home a mess of fish. It's ocean fish. You never know what fish. The best part about ocean fishing is you never know what size fish you're going to bring in next. When you have a bite, there's always excitement, wondering what you got and how big he's going to be as a boat chugs right on past us, heading for the harbor. We usually try to fish the jetty on an incoming tide. It seems to us like that might be slightly better. And although at high and low tide can be okay, the outgoing tide usually isn't that good. But it's not that they're not biting today, because we're catching one right after another. And when we get enough for our catch and cook, we're going to call it a day. First, we have to lay the fish out and clean them. And so we're going to fillet them. Joe has a special way he wants to cook these fish. We're going to take care of them right in the house that we're working on. Since we're almost done, that'll be an excellent spot, and we can have a little heat and warm up a little from that chilly wind that started blowing up on the jetty. The interesting part about ocean fish is they're all different species of them swim out there, and you never really know what you're going to get when you start fishing there.
We take a picture.
So,
and then just cut them out. Just cut the fillets in half long ways.
Then you get those pin bones.
Then you just cut all the pin bones out, and you really don't miss out on much meat. That way you don't have to eat around them.
Julie was saying they're going to move.
Joe has a special way.
Yeah, they're always saying so.
Now he will make a batter using some eggs and cracker crumbs. The crackers have to be crushed up real fine, which Joe is doing there, and then he'll mix them with some eggs and a little bit of seasoning and roll the fish in that. Joe is the head cook, and Marge will be running fetch for him. Now what all you got in there, Joe?
Chopped up greenling, an egg, and the saltine crackers are all smashed up. And I might end up putting another egg in it.
Oh yeah, it looks like it. And you stir it up really well, huh?
Yep.
And then that's all there is to it other than cooking it?
No, I'll mash this up, knead it with my hands, kind of like a bread dough, and then make it into patties,
Oh yeah.
and then cook them.
Do you need any onions or anything?
Nope.
Tom,
It looks
you're-
like Marge is making the salad.
Well, you better see what Joe's putting some seasoning in his stuff.
Oh. How much of the seasoning you putting in then, Joe?
Just however much you think it should have.
Oh yeah. Let's see what it is.
Oops, oil's not quite hot enough yet.
Skillet
oil's
isn't
probably not
warm
quite
enough
hot.
yet, huh?
We'll put a little piece in, that'll tell us when it's hot.
A cheese mix on top of the salad. I just put a couple little sprinkles on it. That should do it. And here's the salad tongs.
Oh, there's still more, huh?
Yep.
He's frying them in a cast iron skillet. Now, how can you tell when that's done?
Well, we'll have to flip them in a minute.
Okay.
Taking my hand cut.
Yeah. You can garnish it with lemon. I'll put them on this other cutting board. Then he can slice them up however he wants them. There, see?
Where's the cornmeal, Marge?
The cornmeal is right behind you. So we'll put some cornmeal right here.
Okay.
And I'll get these glasses.
And we probably need an egg.
We're all out of eggs, but you don't need eggs for cornmeal.
No.
Cornmeal sticks good without.
Yes.
Okay. We can cook them right in the same skillet, can't we?
Yep.
Okay.
This
Now Tom's putting cornmeal in. Don't put too much,
much?
now.
Just a little more.
A little more.
A little more yet.
Enough to
That's
roll
good.
the fish in. Okay, you did it.
If a cowboy comes galloping up here and asks if I'm doing woman's work, I'm gonna deny it.
Now this is a little bit of sea bass, right?
Yep. With a little bit of cornmeal on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're using cornmeal on this fish because I found that my skin problem was pretty much caused from eating wheat, and so of course flour has wheat in it. So I'm going to have cornmeal on my portion of it so I can avoid eating wheat. Since I've quit eating wheat, which hasn't been very long, my skin problems got a whole lot better. Now what do you do with that lemon, Joe?
You squeeze it on your fish before you eat it.
Okay,
There, and that should be plenty.
okay. And we've got non-alcoholic alcohol in our glasses.
It's not sparkling rosé grape.
Sparkling rosé grape, you say?
Yes. Now
Oh, that sounds good.
here's a bowl for our salads.
Okay. That way they stay nice. Oh wow, that looks good. Yeah.
Here's you some water. And we'll just put a little lemon on those.
Yep.
Great. And everything's shut off. Good enough. And we'll just set our bowls aside for salad.
You know, I could just get by with one piece of that, Joe, and you could take the other home for Nikki and the baby.
You better eat two. They're pretty small.
There's two. Good with your video, Tom? Let's just set this on the table so people can see them, even if we're not going to eat them. There,
Yeah.
that makes it look good. Putting those on the table.
Boy, that's some of the very best of fish I've ever tasted. You're squeezing a little lemon on it to make it better, huh?
Yep.
Great.
You got a seed on yours.
That's fine. I can take it off there. I did. Now, we're going to have our salad stuff. And some cottage cheese. I think I'll just put my... Here we go. You want some cottage cheese, Tom? There. About spilled it. Okay. There.
Oh, hold that plate over and let me get a
Picture of it?
picture of that. Yeah, that looks really good.
Okay.
How's your fish, Joe?
It's real good.
I'll
Yeah,
put this
mine
back.
was just absolutely excellent.
That green link's kind of soft, but when you make it into a patty like that, it's really, really good.
Yeah.